Go. Come on. What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the MLO Live Show. Man, this is kind of an amazing moment. Jay and I have been friends for 15 years, Jay?
At least.
Man, long time. We've done like in-person events when he literally kicks my butt all the time. So he's an amazing presenter, amazing producer, and I'm gonna let him introduce himself. But man, we got a cool story here, and man, I never prepare for these. I just know the questions. So
that's cool. And I have no preparation either. I'm just here ready to answer whatever you want to throw at me.
All right, good stuff.
And honestly here, just a little bit about me. I originated my first mortgage in 1996, which is just amazing to think that 30 years almost could be behind us. I've seen multiple presidents, wars, terror attacks, and at the end of the day, every single thing happens and people buy houses. So none of that bothers me. None of that bothers me at all.
It never did. I don't think anything bothers you, man. You're just an awesome dude, and you're always charging forward and doing the right things. And so you've made them so just to set the stage, you've closed this more this year than all of last year in a market where people are like, what do I do? I don't even know what to do. And so yeah, dude, it's right. It kind of gives you chills, right? And before we started, just so everybody knows, before we started in the green room, he goes, Scott, I'm not doing anything different. I've just changed companies. So what is it? Well, what has allowed you to do the same volume already this year that you did last year?
That's a great question. And I'm truly not doing anything differently. My approach always comes from, and you know this with me, it comes from a point of empathy. And you've actually coached this into me over the years also, because when a realtor refers us their client, they're referring their reputation, their house payment, their car payment, the student loan payment for their kids going to for tuition. So I've always taken an approach of empathy of what did that realtor really just refer me? And so I've not changed anything about that. The only thing different is that I did make a move from a company to another one, and I've enjoyed that. The additional products, the pricing, the transparency it's just increased my confidence, the volume, and I'm kind of I'm not here to be a spokesperson for that company. I just, if you ever feel like something's not working, there could be a utopia out there for somebody, take a chance on yourself,
Yeah. Good stuff, man. So you've been in the business for a long time. You've been doing loans for a long time. What would you tell somebody right now that's listening to this going, man, I'm at that 1 to 3 mark. I can't what would you tell them, or what would you do first, or what did you do this year that and I know there's nothing different, but what would you tell them?
Well, I mean, I'm a firm believer of 15 appointments a week. And I learned that a long time ago, 20 years ago. I'm in front of people 15 times a week for referral sources. And if it's a group meeting, if I'm doing a group luncheon and I've got 20 realtors at the event, I make that count as only one appointment. So kind of gun to your head kind of thing. It's 15 appointments. It's I do a lot of video, but my video, I've been using direct messaging, private messaging. I've been going right to their private messenger on Facebook. Even if I'm not friends with them, at least you can see that they've opened it, if they were the listing agent on a transaction, that kind of thing. I mean, at least I see that they opened it. I thank them for a wonderful transaction on Maple Street, those kind of things. And it's just staying in front of the realtors and taking a step back, seeing all these market cycles in 29 years, I don't believe there's a better time for a loan officer to build their referral-based business. You have got so much attrition out there. And if it's not attrition where they're not renewing their licenses, it's attrition that they've just flat out checked out. They're just not doing the follow-up. So, I've never seen a better time personally to go out and absolutely build your business, because there's so few of us now.
I don't even know where to start. I just heard a couple of things I didn't even think of. So one, the 15, like one to many is one for you, not 50. Like if there's 15 in a room, that's Steven. Did you hear that, man? Q, did you hear that? Like I saw you shake your head. So how do you get these appointments? Like how do they take place? How do they originate? Calls, phone calls, text messages? Like how does that all happen?
Great. I mean, great question. I'm an active member in multiple real estate boards. So I really start there. And then I just absolutely go after the listing agents on, when we have a great success story and we just closed a wonderful transaction, it becomes an appointment. I've had really great success. I've been going in and doing a VA 2-hour con ed for realtors. I bring in a really great educator and you can pack the room on that stuff. I'm not the VA educator, but man, I'm bringing in the food and I'm doing the marketing and we're packing that place in for that stuff. So that's the primary things that I do to schedule my appointments.
Jay, I don't know if you know this, but you might be the first one and you're not seeing this because you're not on Zoom, but one of your agents is here. And she says, I use Jason Sprague for 85% of my buyers. So how do we get that to 100? No, I'm just kidding. So
that's awesome. That's awesome.
She says VA Con Ed is so valuable. So thank you, Kathleen, for being here. Kathleen Garden. So just Metro Detroit, EXP. EXP's in the house. I'm with EXP. So there you go, man.
No,
Jada, I don't think anybody said, you want to say something about Kathleen?
Oh, no, it's just Kathleen's just a perfect example of, in order for me to work with a realtor, I really got to feel like a friendship. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. It's at the point of my career that I'm just not looking for, I got to find somebody that's a fit to work with because, you're in a relationship for 15 to 30 days. You know what I mean? So it's one of those things that you got to be friends with them too.
Yeah, Kathleen, I was just playing. I was just playing a little bit. So tongue in cheek there because she goes, because we have wacky clients and they do not listen to Jason's input all the time. So just listen to Jason. If you're out there listening to this, listen to Jason.
Yeah.
So Jay, I love the DM and the private messages. So like what are you doing that consistent, persistent? Are you strategically doing it just off the cuff? How does that look on a daily basis?
On a daily basis, again, it's a gratitude one that I do for, listing agents that accept our offer, that kind of thing. I do a lot of video as far as that goes. After the closing, I'll put them on like, hey, Michelle, it was great working with you on Maple Street. If there's anything I can ever do to help, I'll do that. And they'll respond back to you. Or if you have program changes or anything like that can help them. So I've been, and it's a pain in the butt because I name the realtor, I call them out. So I will close my office door and I will send all these messages, but it's personal. It comes from the heart. And I get it. I mean, there's great systems that you can cut one video and just blast everybody. I just do it more from the heart, just kind of what I do.
Gotcha, brother. That's awesome. So Ozzy's on here. What's up, Ozzy? Are your 15 appointments per week in person or on Zoom?
That's awesome. I do, post COVID. I've been doing this so long. Post COVID, I do count Zoom. So I will.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah, I will count that.
Okay.
It's just as acceptable now as it is to go face to face. So that's a great question.
Hey, Jay, if I was to take you out of Detroit, which is amazing, by the way, it sure has come a long way since we met. Oh my God. If I was to take you out of Detroit, drop you in another city and where you knew no one, what would you do, man?
Man, that's a great question. And I've actually, kind of built my business around that right now because things are, my market in Metro Detroit is multiple offers and it's a lot of cash. And so I needed to pivot and make an adjustment quite a few years ago. And I dropped myself off into Northern Michigan. I joined the board. it was easier for me because I have a home in Northern Michigan, so I didn't have to deal with a hotel. I didn't have to deal with that. I joined the board. It's a vast board. It's probably the largest square mile board in the United States. I mean, it goes from the upper peninsula of Michigan to the, northern, midsection of the lower peninsula. And I joined committees. I started doing my 15 appointments up there. And then what I found was incredible in that their board, just work with these boards. But this board has an annual expo that doesn't charge the affiliate members. And what they do is they offer a big Con Ed deal, and they put 200 or 300 realtors every November into this event. And then I did it one year, and I found out that I was the only non-credit union, non-retail bank guy there. And I just freaking built it off of there, And so it's been really, really great. So I've actually gone through this, and you can be dropped off into an area and restart your business, and make it successful. You absolutely can. And I made relationships with, appraisers and not appraiser relationships that are like, I go hunting and fishing with them. Appraiser relationships where I'm able to tell realtors that you're not getting an out of area appraiser, coming in. I have wonderful appraisers that on my panel, that kind of thing. And I just became part of the fabric of the community. And I think anybody can do that in any market.
So this is a big deal. So I want people to understand the difference, like for where Jay is in Metro Detroit. And so is it the UP, like Upper Peninsula?
No,
or is it like
it's the Gaylord, Traverse City, Alpena, the northern lower, but just the vast square mileage that board covers is just incredible. Yeah. It covers like 30 counties or something like that. It's amazing. So then I became, you become part of the golf outing committee. Those kind of things, and then you become part of the fabric of that board. So I think anybody could be dropped anywhere as a good loan officer and be, pretty successful.
And just so you guys know, Traverse City, northern lower Michigan is about 3.5, 4 hours. Jay, would that be about right, depending on traffic?
Yep.
Yeah. So when you say, man, I'm my city is not I can't do anymore, or I can't figure it out, you just get a big, Jay just went 3.5, 4 hours north because it's beautiful up there. And just so you can't see this, but Kathleen's like, this is an epic story right here. And thank you for being here, Kathleen. Jason and I just closed on a VA buyer, Coast Guard, on June 5th. That was a total virtual buyer. I just met the buyers in person when they showed up at their home this Monday, June 30th, closed on June 5th. They loved working with Jay and his assistant, Krim. So wow. So virtual closing, you never met them. So can you do virtual closings anywhere in the United States?
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Yep. You can do virtual closings. And I tell you, I mean, the greatest thing that I have going for myself is truly the fact that I can go do these 15 appointments a week. I originate I do all my own buyer consultations. And then Kim Roberts is my co-branch manager. We've built something in the last 6 years that's just absolutely special. It allows me to go and do what I'm strong at, and she keeps the operations going. It's an amazing relationship.
So with the loans you close, what does your process look like? So you talk to the buyer, talk to us about that. When an application comes in, you're the point of contact, and then how does that look after that?
100%. I do 100% of my buyer consultations. I tried it a different way where I had like a loan partner pre-scrub the buyer consultation and then get them on my schedule, that kind of thing. That works amazing for some people. It's, everybody has a different fit for how they intake the lead. I do 100% of my buyer consultations, and then I get them to apply. And sometimes we're doing a share screen and working, through them, building the rapport of, okay, let's link your bank accounts, that kind of thing. And sometimes they just off and run with it. And then my process is that my pre-approval specialist is managed by Kim, and they make sure all the documents are in the file, and they run findings, and then we issue the pre-approval, and it's all about speed at that point. So that's how my process looks like for intaking a new buyer. I have nothing to do with it on the loan level. Once it's apt, I'm out.
You're out. So do you follow up with them, love on them, like anything like that, or you just let the team take it and run?
If there's any necessary, follow up to be done, if there's ever bad news, nobody delivers bad news other than myself. That's it. I mean, I'm going to deliver bad news if it happens, if something happens or goes appraisal misses value, anything like that. I'm taking the lead. Other than that, everybody gets their updates and it goes to closing seamlessly.
I mean, and I don't know if you guys know this, but Jay is a huge, his children race, and you're traveling all the time.
All the time.
Like you were in just Indiana last week, right?
Yep, Indiana. We were in Nashville a few weeks before that, and we travel with our youngest on the NASCAR Youth Series, and our oldest runs ARCA and big cars. I mean, we're just all over the place.
So you got to close loans, man. That's not cheap.
I got to pay who's your tire. So if anybody knows racing, I got to pay who's your tire. So hopefully my wife's not watching this right now.
Yeah, shh. Yeah, we don't want to go there. All right. So hey, if anybody has any questions for Jay's an open book. When you do these one to many, is there like do you buy lunch? Do you sponsor? Do you have title companies help you fill seats or anything like that?
I mean, that's a great question. You can typically always find a title partner to co-market that with you, co-brand it. We found, insurance agents, financial planners are just like, and estate attorneys, like, I mean, they're just untapped right now as far as, estate attorneys are just phenomenal for resources, for, purchases, for, help with that stuff. And I've had a large estate planning firm that's, come in and sponsored, the lunch and things like that. So I keep it to a minimum for the lunch, but it's always good food. And I mean, on this 2-hour VA Con Ed, I mean, it is so easy with the way that the realtors now have to get their Con Ed. They can't just go to one spot. And so you typically pack the room on that stuff. So provide value, provide that kind of thing. We're really heavy into private security mortgages. So now what I'm doing is I've built out a luxury private security brand. And I'm just chasing down all the Sotheby's, all the big luxury brokers, and I do what's called roundtable lunches. And so I'll end up with 5 or 6 phenomenal luxury agents, let them understand how private security mortgages work and how easy they are. How beautiful the rates are, and I'm just really dialing in right now on luxury agents.
Well, we need to have you back and talk about private security. Like that's intriguing, something I haven't heard. So
for sure,
that'd be cool. Estate attorneys. First, I've heard that too. Like, so you're just reaching out and saying, offering like sharing who you are, what you do for a living, and then building a relationship. And then it comes down to they come to you for advice and client referrals. How does
sure. I mean, we've navigated them lately that, you end up with siblings that want to buy because of the housing shortage and getting to these homes. At the same time, at least I can speak for Michigan, you can keep the taxes capped, okay, on a blood transfer. So, you take a house that was purchased at $150,000 that is now $500,000. In Michigan, your state equalized value would be $250,000. They're capped at the $75,000 when they bought the house in 1991. And so now what you have is you have siblings that are literally trying to get to that house. And so I'm getting the mortgage referral out of it. And if that doesn't work out, if they need to list the house, if it goes through probate, those kind of things, then you're literally handing your realtor just a layup for a listing lead.
Wow.
So the estate attorneys they're very, very low hanging fruit right now. And then you can get refis out of them. There's a lot of things that are on there that, have a really good opportunity. Same thing for family law attorneys.
Excellent. I mean, that's no bomb drops today, guys.
Yeah, I mean, it's just really good stuff right there.
Yeah, it's just amazing, Jay, that everybody that I have on the show, like they talk about their own niche, their own thing, and it's everything works. And it just seems like if you love what you're doing, you're persistent about it, and you're educated, and you're a huge educator. Like you just educated us on, the tax cap, so which is huge. So congrats on that, man. You've
Yeah,
and heart and soul on that.
Part of my process is really getting a hold of that listing agent, because if you're getting a hold of a listing agent, and Kathleen can attest to this, and if I'm already answering the questions that listing agent's going to have while they're presenting multiple offers, okay, if I'm already in that listing agent's face, okay, the chances of Kathleen or any of my realtors showing more houses dramatically declines. And then coaching the mindset of the buyer. These buyer consultations in this market go from 30 to 45 minutes. I mean, they are not 5-minute conversations, because you better have that mindset of that buyer in place. And one of the things that I start with is there's 2 types of realtors out there. You're going to go out there, you're going to look at houses. There's a realtor that's going to list that house so significantly undervalue that they're going to get on Instagram and they're going to be like, hey, look at me. I had 50 offers. Okay, I'm the best. Then there's the other realtor that's like, I just navigated 5 offers for my seller. Okay. So because what happens is like, you get these buyers that are going in this market and they're like, oh my God, I got to pay 40,000 over. Hold on. It was never 40,000 under. Okay. And so if you set those expectations from the beginning, your success rate with your buyers is going to be incredible. And then some of the other techniques that we're using, like on the appraisal guarantee stuff, if they're doing a $10,000 appraisal guarantee, you better not be writing a $500 EMD check. Okay. And I tell them right out of the gate, okay, write the $10,000 EMD check. You've got either an inspection to get out of there, you've got financing to get out of there. I'm making sure that the EMD matches that appraisal guarantee. And maybe sometimes that's not the greatest fit, but if they did a $20,000 appraisal guarantee and they did a $5,000 EMD, you better be giving me permission to take your assets and present it with your pre-approval letter so that the seller knows that you have access to that. And I do something similar with all my VA. I mean, I don't see how I don't close 40 or 50 million in the next 12 months. I absolutely believe that 25% of my business will be VA. And I just got another VA accepted at 1.1 million in a multiple offer scenario. I made sure that we went in with our VA offer, and then I had a conventional backup offer also, so that they knew that same person. Okay. So that they saw that, hey, if they were bringing any bad ideas, bad thoughts that VA is an inferior product, which it's not, but, hey, if something fell apart on the VA appraisal, the VA inspection, they're holding the conventional backup buyer right there with the same buyer. So they've got 2 offers. That's how you win VA.
Brilliant, man. Wow. Okay. There's another nugget. Thanks, Jay.
Yeah. I mean, it's what works right now for sure.
You've said listing agents a lot. And I mean, I always, when I hear something 3 times, I'm like, all right, is that how you build new agent relationships is that kind of your way in?
Yeah. I mean, I build, I kind of like going back to, I pick and choose if they're a fit that I want to work with. Yeah. The other thing is part of the being part of these realtor boards, and I'm circling around to answer your question, part of the realtor boards and the exposure that you get and the videos that you get that I create is to have FaceTime in front of the listing agents, whether they use me or not. I know that they're the 800-pound gorilla in that marketplace. So when they see a Jason Sprague, Kim Roberts pre-approval letter come in, they know, man, I'm comfortable as heck with that guy. He's a fabric of our community. I hear nothing but good stuff about him. That's how you win offers, is to make sure that you're around those listing agents. And the other thing is to give yourself a niche. And like currently my niche is that luxury private security brand that I have. And so with that, I'm able to break down the doors of every agent that's a banger out there, because I have something different that nobody else has. And so then it's like, hey, we'll meet with you. We'll take that Zoom call with you. Tell us about it. I'm not asking for their VA, their conventional, their FHA. I'm just showing them something different so that they can sell more houses.
I love the man, dude. You're doing some epic things. I think let's have you back on in 90 days and go, all right, where's he at now? Did he double it again? Because I think you're on your way to doubling like what you did last year again. So congratulations on that.
I'm having a ton of fun.
Yeah, man, it sounds like it. So with all these things, what is it if you were to, man, I don't even know how to pick one. Like they're all working. The luxury thing really intrigues me. So you just chose to go, all right, I'm going to build something for the luxury market. Is it, and what I love about that is like, you have no fear. I think people have fear of being worthy of that market. Agents they don't feel worthy of doing $1 million listing. Agree? Until they do, until they get it. Like, how do I compete against somebody that is? So how would you overcome that fear or being worthy of jumping into the luxury market when we all start at zero, I've never done a luxury. I've personally never done so how do you do that? How do you overcome the fear?
Once I saw the opportunity and I understood the mechanics behind it, and that we have what's called this reliance letter, and we're able to do all this stuff in house. And it's like, I just went out and distributed it. I mean, just running with this, and it's just a game changer. And I'd love to talk about it some other time for sure, but
love to.
Once you have the confidence of the product and you see the niche market that's out there, I've got no loan level pricing adjustments. Wow. I mean, just to eliminate all LLPAs on my second home purchases, like that gives you confidence. I mean, I don't have to ask for seller concessions, to make it, not be a QM fail mortgage. So I'm just out there, I'm, standing straight and meeting people and having a blast.
Gotcha. So is it just so when you started this, if somebody and Brian's comment on the security luxury with Sotheby's mentioned a few minutes ago, when you started that, did you just I'm just going to start having those conversations? Just like
Absolutely.
everything else. Just like I'm going to talk VA, I'm going to talk luxury.
Right. I'm just, I kind of putting on the mindset that I'm now a wholesaler. So like financial planners, they have like a wholesaler come in from Pac Life, from Fidelity, that kind of thing. So I'm basically a wholesaler for private security, and it's my niche. And I'm going to get their VA, and I'm going to get their conventional. I'm going to get their super jumbo. I'm going to get all that stuff, but I need a way to kick down the door. And so that's what I'm using to kick down the door. And, there's all types of niches that can make you an expert. Maybe you're the best at 203K. Maybe you do VA renovation in-house like I do. Like that's another thing that's helping, like to be able to, hey, I do VA renovation mortgage, whatever. Find a niche, break down the barriers, and just have total confidence in yourself. That's the key.
Yeah, and just become the expert, man, like you do. I haven't. Hey, let me ask you this question: has anybody ever confronted you that you're not a luxury expert?
No.
Nobody, even on day one, right? When you had zero experience, did anybody go, Jay, you shouldn't be here?
Yeah.
No.
The only thing I did differently was I cleaned my fingernails a little better after the race weekend. I'm like, holy cow, I need a better suit. I can't wear that Kohl's suit for $99.99. But I'm a little bit cleaner when I go into those meetings. So
you can get suits on Amazon for $99, man. 2 for 1 today.
That's right.
2 for 1. Yeah. Awesome stuff, Jay. Unbelievable what you're doing, man. I love everything. I love, man, dude. You're an amazing presenter. Keep doing what you're doing. Keep showing up. What I heard the whole time was make it about relationships, education, and relationships. And like you even said, I don't want to work with somebody that I don't have a relationship with. I just don't want to do a transaction.
Yeah, and work hard. I mean, what we all get paid more than doctors. I mean, there's not a doctor that even a trauma surgeon can't make what we make, And so when you got to go to work, go to work.
Yeah. Devin, what do you think, bro? Is this insane?
I think my mic was muted. Yeah, man. I mean, just telling it how it is, right? Getting out there and getting after it. Like I absolutely, love where you're coming from with, hey, we're reaching out to people on social and we're just making friends and letting them know that we're present, just doing all the right things, man. I mean, that's it. It sounds hard, but it's not,
Jay makes it look easy.
You got to do it. You got to take action.
Yeah. Jay makes it
there's no secret sauce to work. You know what I mean? It's just
roll up your sleeves, man. Get it done.
He's got that racing blood though, man. He's always going 100 and 120 mile an hour. Like is that about what
something? I
they
mean,
go faster than that or something.
Faster than that, but
he looks like Benicio del Toro, right? So at the end of the day, he's got that going for him too.
That's right. That's right. All right, guys. Hey, Jay, thank you so much for taking time out of your day, man. I know. I appreciate you. I appreciate Teresa. It's nice to reconnect after a long time.
Absolutely.
And I'm so happy for you guys. I know you're doing good. So keep doing what you're doing, man. And I'm going to follow your journey. I might need to get your son. I don't know who's going to be NASCAR truck next year, but I might need to come get a signature from that. So
sounds good. I'll get you tickets.
All right. Let's do it.
All right. I appreciate you. Thanks for the invite.
You, brother. You bet, man. All right, buddy. Have a good day. Have a great day. Same time, same place tomorrow. Rick Koenig's going to be on. We're going to have what are we going to do, Rick? We're going to do a BDR. We're going to do BDR action.
Yeah, we're going to talk about how BDRs can help grow your business and utilizing LOAs properly.
Gotcha. And are we going to have a BDR on with us?
Oh, we might have one of the most popular people that's been in the mortgage industry in years.
Let's go. Uh-oh. I don't even know who this is. So do I want to know? Or do I just like have her show up? Him, her, like
MC.
MC. Okay. Let's do it. All right, guys. I appreciate you. Love you. And have an amazing day. Get out there. Make it happen. See?